Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Today we will talk about the whole Turo situation, what happened with our car and everything else around it, the whole story time, why we got into Turo and why we now ended up deleting all our cars from the platform and will never ever work with Turo again. Maintain it, safe to say the kid get older. Forever gang, I'm never switching over. Made a lane and niggas can't get over. I can't mess with rappers, they be bogus. Rather get the pack and keep it open. Big dripper stand up in the ocean. Everybody trapping, we get ocean. He ain't 4PF, but he ain't got motion. Made a half a ticket out promotion. Shout out Sushi Sweet. So if it's your first time on here, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Usually it's Tony and Rebecca. I'm Rebecca. Tony unfortunately was not able to get a haircut today, so I said I'm just gonna deep dive into the story time on my own today, and he will be on in the next video again. Also, make sure to like this video, comment your opinion on this, and also share the video with everyone you know, and especially everyone you know who is thinking about doing Turo or already does Turo right now as we speak. I just want to tell my story, and I always watched other people's stories and other people's horror stories of stuff that happened, and I never listened to it. I was like, oh, that's not gonna happen to me. That's not gonna happen to me. Yeah, until now. Okay, so I just want to spread awareness. Obviously, it's your choice if you want to keep doing Turo or if you want to get started in the business. I'm not trying to shame the business on here. I'm also not trying to down talk them or anything. I'm simply here to share my personal story on what happened with Turo and also why I decided to not work with Turo anymore. So first, let me tell you how and why did we get into Turo and why we even started this whole journey on buying 3 cars and putting them all on Turo. So we used to live in Miami. We ended up only having 1 car for a long time. It was a Land Rover Range Rover Sport, just because we never needed a car. We work from home. We have e-commerce businesses and everything. And then we relocated to Las Vegas, and we were thinking, oh, Las Vegas is like a busy city. There are a lot of tourists, and Turo was kind of popping at that time too. So we were like, okay, why we don't start putting our cars on Turo, or buying cars we can put on Turo, you know, different cars, let's say like a little minivan, a regular Honda, maybe an SUV, something like that. So we pretty much we traded in the Range Rover or sold it, and then purchased 3 cars, which is a Tesla Model 3 2023, Chevrolet Suburban 2019, and a Honda Civic Hatchback 2019. So we had the intention to put all these cars on the Turo platform, renting them out, and then just use whatever car is not rented. We also thought about doing Uber with whatever cars are not rented and just feel it out what we can make more money with. Like, let's say if there's a really busy weekend and we know we can make a lot of money with Uber, we just keep the cars and then rent them out whenever we like don't need them or something. But obviously keep in mind, we also have e-commerce businesses. We also have to drop off packages. We have to pick up things. Obviously we have a normal life. We have to go grocery shopping. We have to run errands. We have to go to doctor's appointments. So obviously it would be beneficial to at least have like 1 car or something, right? So we got the cars. We drove Uber with the Tesla and the Chevrolet Suburban, and we literally kept the Honda in the intention to only rent it out on Turo, which we did. Actually, the day I posted the listing of the Honda, I immediately had a booking for the next day, which made me super happy. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I immediately started making money. I was a brand new host. I had no reviews, no nothing. So that's obviously very nice, because usually you think, okay, it takes some time to rent out your cars first, right? The Honda was rented out. Everything was great. I got a bunch of accessories like key lock box, all the things you would need to like rent out the car. And also I wanted to more focus on the remote drop off and just verify the license online, which is obviously very beneficial because then I can just drop it off. Don't worry about it. I don't need to wait on someone or someone's flight delays or something. So that for me was the best option to do, the remote drop off. It's also good because we are 2 people. So Tony would always like drive in the Tesla. I would drive in a Honda. We drop off the car and we drive back together in the Tesla. So it was super easy money and definitely passive. I mean, we have to wash the car, drop it off, pick it up. That's it. But for me, that's passive income because that's not a lot of work. So obviously, great thing, right? Until something happens. So I already, in that meantime, like we've been doing this for like 6-7 months, and I would see stories on TikTok, horror stories of things that happen. Like there was a girl, for example, that she rents or she does Turo in New York, and then the girls that rented her car drove to like somewhere 2 hours away and like dropped the car in a parking garage, and the car was not working anymore. And she
pretty much had to figure out how to retrieve her car from there. I don't know how the story ended. I maybe have to see if I can find the story somewhere just to see or follow up with her how this ended. But it definitely didn't sound great. And I was always seeing the stories and always, I mean, I was believing it, of course, but I was never thinking more about it. I was like, oh, that's not gonna happen to me. You know, you like watch the stories and you're like, oh, no, that's not gonna happen to me. Yeah, but it happened to me. So, but we're gonna get into that right now. So everything was going good. And something happened, which was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. So pretty much what happened was I had this person renting the Honda from the airport. Same thing. It's always from the airport because people land, they get the rental and then drop it off at the airport. Most convenient thing, right? So nothing crazy. It was rented for like 4 or 5 days. So I was already happy. I was like, okay, great. Because sometimes people only rent it for like 1 day and then you have to hassle to like do the drop off and pick up thing like twice in a short period of time. So it's obviously better if people rent it for like 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So it's a longer time and it just makes more sense money wise, right? He rented a car for I think like 4 to 5 days and I didn't think anything about it. Doing the same thing. At this point, we already have like 22, 23 trips or something where never anything happened. I always felt secure because we have Turo insurance. Like Turo offers insurance. So the Turo insurance plan I chose was that they take 25% out of my earnings and 75% of my earnings are mine. But that means I have a full coverage insurance with a $250 deductible. I also put the deductible very low. You can also do the insurance, for example, that you get 80% of the earnings and then it's a $500 deductible, or you get like 90% of the earnings and it's a $1,000 deductible. You know, it really, they have like different insurance plans within Turo. So it's never affecting my personal insurance, you know? I don't know if that's like clear for somebody who maybe does not Turo and watches this right now, but I think it makes sense, right? So my personal insurance is never affected. I have my regular personal insurance, and whenever a Turo guest drives my car, the Turo insurance is automatically in effect. Pretty much what happened was this guy picks the car up. Everything is great. Saturday, so 2 days in his trip, he texts me. I'm driving Uber. It was popping. I had so many rides. It was so busy. I was making a lot of money at that point. So he texts me around 8 and it's like, or it was like 7:30 p.m. And he is like, I got in an accident. And I was like, no, please, no. Like I already, if you would know how much stress I already got on my plate right now, dealing with so many things I don't want to deal with like Amazon and like all kinds of things. Obviously, like in real life, you have to deal with things, but I have like an extra load of things right now, especially when you're an entrepreneur, especially when you're self-employed. You always have to deal with like extra things that are not supposed to be happening. But obviously this on top of it was not making it better. Especially we had a really dry season in Las Vegas. We had like a month where we were not really making money with Uber. So now we are finally back making money and this happens. I'm like, okay. I was like texting back and forth with him. I'm like, hey, like, where are you? Like, let me know your location, please, so I can come there immediately. Also, in the same time, I have a tire tracker in the car. By the way, never get a tire tracker because you can only track the tracker if there's a phone with Bluetooth on an immediate distance. It's super weird. So at one point, I was not even able to track my car anymore, but we get to that later. So I was tracking the device in the same time and I kind of got a location. So I already drove towards the location while I was texting with him, trying to get in touch with him. I told him, hey, like, please send me pictures. Like, was it your fault? Like, I was just bombarding him with like questions and everything, trying to figure out what's going on, you know, like maybe it's not even his fault. And it's like, you know, like whatever. I mean, accidents happen. And then maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's just a little scratch. Maybe it's just something, right? So I got the location. I drove towards the location. At the same time, I'm on the phone with Turo support, trying to figure out, okay, what are the steps we have to do? Like, what do I have to do? I never got into an accident within Turo, right? So I don't know how to proceed with the insurance. It's their insurance. So they have to figure out, or I have to file a claim with them probably. So I'm still trying to figure this out on the phone with this guy for like 20 something minutes, driving to the location. I got there. He dispatched a tow truck to the location. He said since all the car shops are closed right now, like all the car shops where the car could be repaired are closed. We have to tow it to my house, okay? Which he made it sound so easy. He was like, yeah, no problem. We just gonna tow it to your house. It's gonna be at no charge. And then tomorrow we gonna tow it to the shop, right? Yeah, I don't even want to think about this. But like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you the story now. So no problem, you know, super easy. We just gonna call a new tow truck. You don't have to pay anything for it. No problem. Okay. So I arrived at the scene. They already had pushed the car off the road. So I'm also pretty much at that time already, he already sent me a picture of the car. So I was like, oh my God, I should probably just fly the picture in here real quick so you see it. Okay. So this is how the car looked like. That's the picture I got. So then I arrived to the scene in person. And first of all, I also have to say the Turo guest itself was super nice. Like, he was super like apologetic. He was like, he was so sorry. He was like obviously mad at the same time because obviously now his vacation is kind of ruined too. But he never ever was like giving me an attitude or like being rude or disrespectful or anything. Never. They were so nice. So it was pretty much a guy and a girl from, I think, New York, New Jersey area. And they were super, super nice, like super nice. So I can really not say anything bad about them. So it was pretty much just the accident happened. He pretty much described it to me that a girl was driving towards a traffic light in front of him. The traffic light turned yellow and she fully braked, like immediately when it turned yellow. And that pretty much, he was not counting on that. He thought she's gonna go over it. She was not. He crashed into her completely in the back, which happened to me probably 1,000 times, that I almost crashed because somebody wants to brake crazy on a yellow light. Okay. Also, I want to mention we in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is probably the city with like the most accidents, or one of the most accidents that happen here are here. And I also didn't blame him at this point. I was like, okay, on the end of the day, I don't care. On the end of the day, the insurance is supposed to cover it. He's gonna cover the deductible. The only thing I was worried about, okay, this is gonna add stress to my plate. I have to deal with this now. I don't want to deal with this. I want to Uber. I want to make money. That's what I was thinking about the most. But I was like, okay, we already have the tow truck dispatched. He said it's going to take 30 to 60 minutes for the tow truck to be there. It's going to be towed to my house. Okay, boom, I can go back on the street. At that point, it was 8 p.m. when I got there. He texted me at 7:30. I got there at 8 p.m. And yeah, we were just waiting. There was a amazing donut shop in front of the whatever where we pushed the car to. At the same time, also Tony already came in too, because I told Tony right away, okay, you have to come here. Like, I don't know what's going on, because I was also worried, you know, I don't know who these people are. Like, I don't know if they're going to be weird, rude, whatsoever. You know, I don't know what happened. So I told him, please come. But on the end of the day, he didn't even have to come because they were all super nice. But obviously, Tony's there to support me at all times. Pretty much, I got a donut. It was kind of like already an hour in. I was thirsty. I was hungry, everything. So an hour in, nobody was still there. So the guy said 30 to 60 minutes. The tow truck is going to be there. So at this time, I called back Turo support. I'm talking to the Turo support, trying to figure out what happened to the tow truck. Where's the tow truck? Also, I got a confirmation text message that the tow truck was dispatched when I was on the phone with the guy. The same message my guest got too. We were there together, right? And then also he got an additional message while I was on the phone with the Turo support that now there is this and this towing company on the way to pick up the car. And it's going to take 60 to 90 minutes. Mind you, we already been there for an hour. But I mean, yeah, it's tow trucks, I guess, right? So I'm on the phone with this lady. She's trying to figure out where this tow truck is. We were not able to reach anyone from the tow truck company. Nobody ever answers this number. We are on the phone with this lady for 1 hour and 20 minutes. She's trying to figure out and reach these tow truck people, trying to figure out where the tow truck is, right? They also, I want to mention here, they told me several times I have to stay with the car. One of my people, pretty much, one of the hosts, like me, I'm the host, or Tony, and one of the guests, which is either this guy or his friend or somebody, has to stay there. They told us this several times. We have to stay there till the tow truck gets there, right? I was already thinking in my head, why do we have to bring this car to my house? We can just bring it in the parking lot in front of a car shop, and when the car shop opens tomorrow, they can check the car out immediately and inspect it, right? Makes more sense. No, We couldn't. We have to bring it to my house. That's the first strike right there. Then the second strike is we have to stay there. Mind you, I have a key lock box the whole time because this car is rented on Turo. I have a key lock box that I use for this car so people can pick it up remotely. I could have put a key lock box on the car. Anyways, the car is not able to drive. Nobody can drive the car. So most likely nobody's going to steal the car either or try to crack the lockbox or something like that. I was already thinking about that, but no, the Turo support told us, no, we can't. After being on the phone with this lady for 1 hour and 30 minutes, she said, yeah, it's going to take another 60 to 90 minutes. So mind you, we already there for like 2.5 hours at this point. It's already like 10:30 at this point. So we actually waited another hour after this until I called back one more time and I said, hey, like I just made something up. I mean, I didn't make something up. I said I have to go back to work. I had to go back to work. I have to make money. I'm at this point telling them, hey, like we just gonna leave the key lockbox here and the tow truck can call us whenever they're there, right? And she's like, yeah, no problem. Of course. You don't have to wait. I'm like, yeah, thank you telling me this after 3.5 hours. We already waited there, that it's okay for us to leave. So we mounted the key lockbox at 11:30. So mind you, I've been there for 3.5 hours. We waited there for the tow truck. It's 11:30 now. We are leaving. I actually ended up dropping off the Turo guest and the friend at their Airbnb because anyways, I was driving back to the strip pretty much and the Airbnb was only 5 minutes away. They even told me, okay, when anything happens or if you need us to get back to the scene, like just let us know, you know, we're gonna just get there and figure it out. So I'm going back to the strip. I'm starting to Uber. I get a call from an unknown number at 12:30, okay? 4.5 hours after the tow truck was dispatched. I couldn't answer, obviously. In the same time, also, I had guests in the car. Like, I couldn't answer. I can't answer, like, sometimes, which is obviously a big problem because I had to answer. But the good thing is I dropped them off, and literally 2 minutes later, a number from Atlanta calls me. I'm picking up. I'm thinking already, okay, it's probably the tow truck guy. So the tow truck guy is on the phone with me, telling me, like, hey, you know, like, we are here. What's the key lockbox code? I told him the key lockbox code. And I also gave them already my gate code because I said, I'm working, just drop the car off, but just please let me know, like text me or call me when you dropped off the car, okay? Very important, so I know it's there and I know where to look for it. I also gave them exact instructions where to leave it. So pretty much we live in a whole complex, like an apartment building complex of like a bunch of buildings, just like 3-floor buildings. Told them that. I went back to Ubering. I came home at 2 a.m. or something. I was on my way home. I come home and mind you, I'm thinking the whole time, okay, everything is great. The car is there. They finally did it. Tomorrow I'm just going to call a new tow truck and that's it. Easy. Of course not. So I'm coming home at 2:30 a.m. in the morning. I'm looking for the car. The car is not there. I'm looking around. I drive in. I drive to the exact location. I told him to drop it. Obviously, I'm not expecting you to drop it at the exact location because obviously people sometimes, I don't know, don't understand things, misunderstand things, don't want to understand things. You know, sometimes you just don't know what the reason is. The car was not there. I looked everywhere, okay? Mind you, it's 2:30 in the morning, okay? I'm everywhere, driving everywhere in my complex, searching my whole complex for this car. Obviously, also, it's not that hard to oversee this car since it has a total damage in the front. So I'm just driving around, driving outside the complex, everywhere. The car is not there. So I searched for like an hour and then I called Turo support. Again, mind you, it was like 3:30 in the morning. So I was on the phone with them again for like an hour just to mind that. So I don't need to like repeat the whole conversation, but it was pretty much just going back and forth and back and forth. I was on hold for like 90% of the time. They're just trying to figure it out. They're calling the tow truck company. I was not able to reach the tow truck company. Nothing. Like nobody answers ever. I try to Google them. I try to figure out different numbers. Nobody ever answers the phone. That's also very important just for you guys to know. Like I tried to call this tow truck company for probably 60, 70 times over a period of 24 hours, okay? Just so you know. But we are not at the 24-hour mark yet. So Turo confirmed with me that the car was delivered. They got in touch with the tow truck company and the tow truck confirmed that the car was delivered to the address, which is my home address, which was given to the tow truck company when they were supposed to tow it. Never found the car. Literally at this point, I was up to like 5 in the morning. I told them my car is not here, my car is not here. I wrote them at this point also already several emails trying to tell them about this matter, trying to tell them that Turo support is not really able to help me. I'm always on the phone for 1 hour. I need help with my car is lost. So the person on the phone then told me, oh, you should file a missing car report. So I was like, okay, now at this point, my car is considered missing, okay? So I trust you to dispatch a tow truck that comes 4.5 hours late, and now my car is missing. Also, in the same time, I'm Googling this company. I'm trying to figure it out, and I actually found the towing company in Atlanta. Remember, an Atlanta phone number called me from the scene, okay? So I'm like, okay, these people are connected. It's the same name, Atlanta phone number. Okay. I'm reading the reviews at like 5 in the morning, right? And literally the reviews are saying like, this company is the biggest scam in the world. They stole my car. They did this and this. I'm like, okay, like seriously right now? Like I just got scammed from this company and they just stole my car? Like what? And Turo hires them, or like Turo works with them? I was already thinking, I was making up the wildest theories. I was like, okay, they're all in on it. Everyone is in on it. Like Turo is in on it. Turo is a scam. Like I was thinking all kinds of things like at this point. And at this point also, I was in my bed at 5:30 in the morning. The sun was going up. I was still trying to look for my car. At this point, I also circled again the complex. I was like, this can't be. The car has to be here. The car has to be here. Why would they lie to me? You know, this is like a $1 billion company. I'm in my bed, literally going crazy, writing another email, like pretty much describing the whole scenario, that I had to file a missing car report, which I tried to file, which actually I couldn't file because they transferred me to the department of missing cars or something in Turo. And then the lady on the phone told me that I can't file a missing car report. And I was like, why? And she's like, yeah, no, we can't help you right now, So they just refused to help me. Also, I want to mention that I probably at this point asked for a supervisor about 12 times and they were refusing me. Everyone in this customer support is refusing to transfer me to a supervisor. They don't want to. Till this day today, I have never talked to a supervisor about this matter of what happened and of what happened after. Let's also keep the timeline in mind, okay? So this was on Sunday at 6 a.m. in the morning. Pretty much I went to sleep after I wrote this last email. I was like, okay, probably when I wake up tomorrow, I will pretty much get a response from Turo support and everything will be fine. Everything will be sorted out. Yes, that's what I thought. It was not like that, obviously. So I got up after a few hours, maybe at like 10, 11. I'm still trying to like figure out this whole matter, right? I'm trying to figure this out. Also, in the same time, I got to go back to work. I got to Uber. I have to do things other than dealing with this. But obviously, I'm trying to also find my car. And at this point, I'm trying to track the car. So I try to track the car. The car's location is still at the spot where it was supposed to be towed. So I was like, okay, maybe they got into the car, searched the whole car, and just threw out the tracker. And actually, this tracker is hidden like very, very, very well. Okay, you can't find that so easy. So I was like, okay, maybe they got like one of these beep things where they just scan the whole car and find out where the tracker is and then just throw it out and then just pull the car apart or something, you know? So, or they just never towed the car and the car is still there, right? So I was thinking that. I told Tony was already outside. He was already Ubering. So I told Tony to pass by the spot, the address where the car was, where we hung out 4 hours the night before. And he drove back there and he checked it out and the car was not there, okay? So pretty much at this point, we have proof the car is not there. There were also cameras everywhere. So I was thinking maybe we can somehow get into the camera system, but obviously I'm not the FBI. I can't access this. So at this point, Turo did not want to help me. They told me the car was delivered. Several people told me the car was delivered. So at this point, I was already on the phone with Turo support again, obviously for hours, trying to figure this out. They're still telling me the same thing. They still don't want to file a missing car report. They just told me, I asked them, do you want me, what should I do right now? Should I go to the police? Should I call a lawyer to sue you guys? Like, what exactly do you want me to do right now? And then the person just said, yeah, I think you should maybe call the police. I was like, okay, great. So I tried to call this non-emergency line. Nobody ever answered. So I decided to go in one of the only police stations that was open on a Sunday. And I went to the police station and I filed a stolen car report. And I gave them all the details. I spent 2 hours in this police station, gave them all the details on the car. I gave her the whole story. I had to write a whole statement. This was my first time ever filing a police report. I never did that before. But yeah, it's definitely takes a lot of time. It's a lot of work. But yeah, for me, it was okay. This is my car. I have to do this. You know, if this car is really gone and somebody stole it, I have to go through this to even like get the money from my insurance, if anything, you know, because I financed this car. I'm the person that owes money on this car. So at this point, it is like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. in the afternoon on Sunday. And also at this time, by the way, I also called a lawyer. I told them the situation and I told them that I want to sue Turo. Yeah, I posted about it on TikTok. You can also, by the way, follow me on TikTok. You can watch the whole story back, what I did on TikTok. And obviously a lot of people were trying to give me advice. I also did this TikTok video, not necessarily to like somehow go like viral or something. I was more trying to hope that there's somebody who went through this issue before and would be able to like assist me or help me in any way, because I was literally helpless at this point. I left the police station reporting my car stolen, and this all happened under the watch of Turo. Like, I was like, okay, how can this even happen? Like, how can so many things happen within like not even 24 hours at this point? So I'm still in the meantime calling the tow truck company. We kind of did some FBI investigation. We try to figure out, okay, who owns the company in Atlanta. We Googled this person. We tried to find this person on Facebook. We actually found a first and a last name. We connected this name to another towing company here in Las Vegas, which had a different name, which I also remembered on the phone when they called me with the unknown number and then with the Atlanta number. They didn't say the name of the towing company that I got the text message for. They said a different name, and I was not sure 100%. And I was like doubting myself. I was like, did someone just steal my car? Did I just allow for someone to steal my car and gave him the key lockbox code? You know, but who should know? First of all, who should know my address and can confirm the delivery address and everything? Like, that makes no sense. So we connected all the dots and found the person and called the number of the towing company that we found here in Las Vegas. So I called again several times. After like 6 times calling, somebody answers the phone, okay? This is at around 7 p.m. now, 8 p.m. already. In the same time, I'm trying to do Uber. In the same time, I'm trying to make money. Obviously, not really working with all the stress that is going on in my head. I'm trying to figure this out. Like, I'm really trying to get to this person and figure out, like, who is this? Who's trying to mess with my money, pretty much, and my things, my property. I get on the phone with this guy. First of all, this guy probably has the most attitude you can imagine, right? But okay, I understand. You work in a tow truck company. You probably get a lot of attitude from a lot of people all day. But I was nice the whole time. I was like, hey, like this and this happened. My car is gone. I need to know where my car is. I know you guys towed it. I know who you boss is. I know who owns this company. And if this is some kind of scam going on, I told him about the reviews I read online. There's several reviews of them like stealing things out of the car. Everything. He's telling me, first of all, I mentioned also that I called him probably like 60, 70 times. He's like, oh, that's weird because I've been answering the phone the whole time. I'm like, yeah, right. You've been not answering the phone at all. So I don't know. He told me, oh, there's this guy who towed my car yesterday. He's actually on duty right now. He can give me his phone number. And his name was like, I don't know what his name was. Let's just call him Jose. So Jose towed my car. He gave me the phone number of Jose, so I can call him directly and ask him where exactly did he put my car, because he dropped my car off successfully. Oh, I also want to mention, which I almost forgot, that the police already had told me that my car was never ever towed, because when your car gets towed, it is in a system which you can actually look up online. And the police officer told me about this, and she was looking into the system, because every tow that happens has to be reported to the system legally, okay? And there was never ever a tow reported. So the police already told me that my car was officially never ever towed, okay? I also want to mention this beforehand. So he gives me the number of Jose. I hang up with this guy. I call Jose. This number is not in service. I'm like, okay, this is funny right now. This can't be right now. So I call back the number. He actually answers again. I was like, okay, I got scammed right now. He's never going to answer his phone again. He answered again. I was like, hey, the number of Jose is not in service. So then he repeats the number, gave me a different number. I was like, okay, this is all like very funny and I don't know what to think at this point. Then what happened was I got in contact with Jose. He's telling me, oh, I even took pictures of the car. The car is there 100%. I told him the car 100% is not there. Otherwise, I would have seen it, right? And then I told him, if you have the pictures, then send me the pictures. Where are the pictures? Send me the pictures right now via text message. Here's my number. Oh, yeah, I can't do that because it's in a different phone and I can't access that. I was like, yo, send me the pictures right now. So in the meantime, Tony, he's driving around in the neighborhood trying to find the car. Literally, when I told this guy, send me the pictures, I hung up on him. Tony finds the car. Crazy. He finds the car and it was literally in the wrong spot. Completely wrong spot, completely wrong place. It was also dropped, by the way, in a reserved parking spot, which could have been, the car could have been towed at any time by the person who ever reserved this parking spot it was dropped in. Yeah, we found the car. At least something. So now I was like, okay, first of all, I don't want nothing to do with this towing company because they were just unprofessional, rude. By the way, the guy was already hung up several times on me, the guy who gave me the number from Jose, and just rude, disrespectful. So I'm calling Turo again at this point. We finally found the car. I reported everything that happened. Now I need this car to be towed to a car shop to get inspected, to get repaired, right? Or to get inspected to see even if it's total. Because at this point, I thought it's total. It's undrivable. It's completely damaged. So that would be the best case scenario, obviously, that can happen if it's just totaled and everything is gone. I start the same process again of trying to get this car towed. It's around 7 p.m. on Sunday. I was thinking, okay, now we are at home anyways. I can wait 5 hours because I'm at home. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to wait in some dusty, rusty parking lot wherever this accident was, okay? So I'm waiting at home with Tony. We are here. I dispatched the tow truck. He said the same thing, okay? After I've been on the phone with him for an hour again, he finally managed to dispatch the tow truck. And then I also made it very clear that I do not want to work with the same company again. And also, second of all, I do not want the guests to be contacted about this because every single time they would like call back the guest or try to get in contact with the guest when I'm thinking at this point the guest has nothing to do with this because I'm the host. I got the car back into my possession and now at this point you should be contacting me at all times. I should be the main contact. They were like, okay, no problem. We're going to change the contact. We only going to contact you about this matter. I dispatched the tow truck again. They said 60 to 90 minutes. I was like, okay, it's going to come around 8, maybe 9. First thing that happens, nothing. Obviously, nothing. I don't get any confirmation about any company because usually the dispatch happens. I get a confirmation message about the dispatch. And then I get a confirmation about which tow truck company or towing company will pick it up and when and the contact information. So I wait an hour again, call them, same thing again. Where's the tow truck? Same thing again. They're trying to figure it out, wasting my valuable time. I hang up. I get a text message. The same exact tow truck company from the night before, which I said clearly. Oh, first, my guest was contacted. So my guest was contacted with the same information, same tow truck company than yesterday. So two things, again, went wrong here. My guest was contacted, and it's the same company than yesterday, even if I clearly said I do not want to work with them and I want me to be the main contact, and it was confirmed that it will be done like this. It was not done like this. Of course it was not done like this. So the guest, actually, we already exchanged numbers. He sent me a screenshot about the info, and I called them again. And I told them, listen, like, did you just listen what actually I said, what I wish to do? Again, we are so sorry about this happening. We are so sorry, so sorry, so sorry in life. But still, they don't change it, okay? So, I believe in second chances, but I don't believe in 6 chances. I'm so sorry. So, this was already probably strike 5 at this point, or strike 10 at this point with this Turo support that is completely incapable of doing their work at all. This happened. I was like, okay, so I said I don't want to work with them because they're going to mess it up. They're probably going to drop it off in the wrong location again. And I was even thinking already, okay, this time I'm going to be there and I'm going to drive with them to the location where they're supposed to drop it off. So to make sure that they drop it off in the right location. They said, yeah, if you want to change the company, we have to dispatch it again, and everything is going to start all over again. I was like, okay, I don't want to do that because already 2 hours passed at this point. It's already 9 p.m. I'm also trying to go to sleep maybe around 12 p.m. latest, which obviously will never happen because they don't do the job, or nobody, I don't know who didn't do their job, but nobody does their job at this point. Pretty much time goes by. I'm calling. They also advised me I should call the tow truck company just to stay in touch with them to see when a driver comes. I called the tow truck company. Another guy's on the phone, another rude boy. He pretty much tells me the whole time, like, he's like, oh, no problem, another 30 minutes, the car will come. After 30 minutes, I call again. He pretty much does this game with me for like 3 hours of telling me the driver's going to come in 30 minutes. I just talked to him, but he's not there. So at 12 p.m., I'm kind of getting mad because you're wasting my time at this point. I'm trying to go to sleep. I try to work. I already pretty much didn't work for like 2 days because of all this thing happening or whatever happened. I don't know. This guy is trying to play with me. He also keeps hanging up on me. He writes me text messages. He's like, oh, you can text, we can text. So at this point, he's pretty much acting like he's like somehow my like toxic boyfriend or something. And he's just texting back and forth with me, not trying to answer the phone because he's hanging out with another girl right now. Something like that. Like, this is how I felt like. I felt like I'm being fooled right now by someone who keeps telling me they're gonna arrive in 30 minutes. Like, I don't know what this was. I was so mad. Tony also was so tired already. He already like kind of knocked out. He was like super sleepy. I was like, okay, like, please stay up with me. He tried his best. Like, at 1, it was over. He went to sleep. And I was still waiting at the tow truck at 1 a.m. in the morning. Even we already had dispatched the tow truck at 7 p.m. And they keep lying to me. Everyone lies to me. Turo lies to me. The tow truck lies to me. Everyone lies to me about the time when the tow truck is actually going to be there. 1 a.m. I'm on the phone again with Turo, trying to figure this out. I was like, at this point, you might as well... Like, I was already so mad at the tow truck person too. I was like, cancel it. Cancel it. I don't want it. Cancel it. I don't want to work with you. I don't want you guys to make money off me at all, because this doesn't deserve any money. I also told Turo to cancel it and I will figure it out. Or I told them, cancel that one and order a new dispatch. So I was like, okay, if they cancel it now and they order a new dispatch and I have to wait like 6 hours, I can just go to sleep right now, and then they're going to call me and wake me up with the new tow truck, right? That's what I was thinking. So I'm going to sleep at this point, and I'm just thinking, okay, they call me when they call me. I had my phone on loud. I told Tony, okay, when my phone rings, like, wake me up. So again, I want to mention again, after I canceled this, I told again Turo, listen, somebody messed up. I'm still not the main contact to call me when the tow truck is here. I have to be the main contact, not my guest. When the tow truck is here, you have to call me, not my guest. And also, I mentioned again that I do not want to have the same tow company again because they were extremely rude. And again, for the second time, I'm asking to not give me this tow truck company. So I went to sleep. I waited for this tow truck. And at 7:20 or something in the morning, Monday, I receive a phone call. Guess from who? From my guest, because the tow truck called him. Even after I said for 3 times, do not call him, call me when the tow truck is here, because it's to my location, right? He told me, like, here, you gotta call this number. They're like downstairs, they're trying to reach you and everything. So he sent me this number. I was like so angry at this point. First of all, I'm been waking up at 7:30. That's already not ideal. Obviously, I was expecting it, but this was not ideal. Also, mind you, I ordered this tow truck at like 1 or 2 a.m. and they have the audacity to show up at like 7:30, 5.5 hours later. Okay, but yeah, that's another story. So then he calls me and tells me this and gives me the number. So I call this number. I'm already angry. I'm like, hey, why are you not calling me? They're like, oh, we don't have your number. Like, we only have this number. I'm like, there's no way you only had this number, because I already called you like 16,000 times. So there's no way you don't have my number. So I was like, okay, I'm on my way downstairs right now. Like, tell the guy this is the code to come in. He has to take a turn there and there. So I just put joggers on. I ran downstairs trying to figure this out, right? Get the car towed and then follow him to the body shop that Turo picked out, okay, I mentioned this already several times, we bring the car to a body shop where it's supposed to be inspected and eventually repaired. This body shop was picked out by Turo support, which is the nearest to my address. So we picked out that body shop where it's supposed to be brought, and I don't know, they're gonna work it all out with the Turo insurance, right? So we are there, we are loading up the car. It's 7, I think it was even earlier than that. It was like 6:30 or 7 a.m. in the morning because the car shop was not open at that time yet, the body shop. So we load up the car, we drive there. It was literally a 5-minute drive. Me and Tony follow this guy to load off the car and then wait until the body shop opens at 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. Good thing is there's a Dunkin' Donuts right there. So I got some Dunkin' coffee. We posted up there. The tow truck guy, first of all, next thing is that the tow truck is literally says the name of the company I do not want to work with. So 3 times they disregarded that I do not want to work with this company. And 3 times they disregarded that the guest is not supposed to be called. So that's the next thing. So I'm seeing this guy and I'm seeing the tow truck name over the tow truck I do not want to work with. But yeah, at this point, I was like, okay, you're going to take this car. I don't care. Now you're already here. I'm not going to like try to work with a different company. The tow truck guy is already like making a face. He's like, but he can't really speak English and stuff. So he's like, this no body shop. This no body shop kind of. I was like, okay, like I don't know nothing about cars and stuff. I cannot repair a car. I cannot do an oil change. Maybe I can do an oil change. I can put new oil in, but I can't do an oil change. Or I can fill up the windshield's fluid or something, you know? So literally this guy is saying this no body shop. I'm like, I'm trying to look this up. I'm trying to tell Tony, like, what do you think? And he's like, yeah, I think this is like a place where they do like oil changes and stuff. You know, that's it. They don't do body work and don't do anything like this. So I was like, okay, if I have to go through this again and get this car towed again to a different spot, I'm gonna be very furious about this. I was on the phone with them. I was like, this is no body shop. I also, in the same time, try to read the comments on TikTok, and a lot of people told me they never helped them. They had to pay everything out of pocket because Turo never helped them. I already had the biggest nightmares about this. Obviously, I'm also no sleep. I have to actually work, all this stuff. Good thing is the manager of the body shop was actually really helpful and tried to like figure all this out with us. He already said, you are crazy for doing Turo in Las Vegas because you should never do that. There's so many accidents that happen, and Turo sucks. Like he literally said, Turo sucks, Turo support sucks. He has so many experience with this already happen. Pretty much, I'm just living my nightmare right now at this point. We are all tired. Like, I'm trying to figure this out. I figured out a body shop where I would be able to tow the car to and they could inspect it. Also, at the same time, I bombarded Turo already with emails. I'm trying to talk to the claims department. I asked for a supervisor probably another 20 times. They're not helping me. They're not being helpful. I keep trying to talk to the claims department. So at this point, I was like, okay, I need a break from this. Like, I'm dealing with this for like 2 days right now. Like, for 48 hours, I'm dealing with this. And there's still no resolution. And I'm just getting frustrated at this point. It's getting on my nerves. I'm getting a headache at this point. So I'm like, okay, we're just gonna leave the car here. Thank God, like, these people were nice at the car shop. I said, like, okay, I'm gonna leave this car here right now. And I'm gonna try to see if they actually ever gonna get back to me after I'm gonna bombard them with messages, with phone calls, with everything. And I just need to work right now, and I just need to get my head cleared from this issue, because at this point, I'm getting mental issues right now at this point, because this is horrible, horrible. I do not wish this for anyone to go through this, what I went through with this stress. I hope nobody ever has to go through this, like, seriously. So I went back to work. The claims department reached out to me about 2 days later after I, like, bombarded them with everything. And I talked to someone from the claims department because the claims department has no phone number. So I finally got a phone number in an email address. So I called this phone number several times. Obviously, nobody answers either. But after like 1 day, I was able to like reach someone, which I'm surprised. I told her, this person, what happened. And she's just like, yeah, you know, like whatever. Pretty much has no connection. Like there's no connection, the cell phone connection or how you call that. So I don't even hear her. It just delays. You know when it delays and you just keep interrupting each other because your voice delays? So that's pretty much what happened. And she got like mad at me and stuff. I'm like, miss, like you have no service. Like you gotta be somewhere where you have service, especially when you work in customer service. She just gets mad at me and everything. She's like, just email me. Just email me. Okay, so I was like, I went through this whole stress for someone to be again rude to me and again not help me. Like, this is crazy. So I emailed her, listen, like this and this happened. I need help with this. Like, you need to figure this out because I'm about to like lose my mind. This is like getting on my nerves. Like, I'm really going through it right now. I don't know, a few days go by. I was like, at this point, I was like talking to several people. I was also talking to my mom, obviously, about this and everything. And I was like, at this point, like, I'm not going to waste my energy anymore. I wrote emails again to the claims department, back and forth, trying to figure it out. And then finally now, after all this time, they declared this as a total loss, which I don't know what they also did, because we were like going back and forth with the car shop now. They were trying to pick up the car, trying to inspect it. I was also talking to the car shop, obviously trying to help me to just like push this through somehow. But I think at this point, they had nothing even to do with this. It was just, I think they picked up the car. I don't even know if they picked up the car. I don't know. They just sent me an email one day and were like, hey, total loss. $8,000 less valued than I actually paid for the car. But luckily I have gap insurance. So this is somehow going to be figured out. I'm still in the process of doing this. I still haven't received any money for this. So my loan is not paid off at this point right now. I'm still making payments on my loan. I'm still waiting on someone to get back to me now with an update or anything. They have all my information. They have my bank information. I told Capital One about this again. They declared it as, or noted it as a total loss. And I told them, okay, they're going to somehow get in touch with you. I have no idea how this works. I have no idea how this gap insurance stuff works because nobody's actually even able to tell me, which is crazy. I'm just going to probably end up Googling it or something. I don't know. But yeah, I have gap insurance. So hopefully this is all going to be covered. And hopefully this is all going to work out in my favor, which it hopefully will. Because anyways, after this experience, I anyways would have been done with Turo. So now this car being a total loss is probably the best case scenario, because now I don't have to go through the process of selling it, because I have no use for it at this point. I'm not going to do Turo anymore and ever again. And I will not work with these people. And I recommend everyone to not work with these people. I don't care. Like, this is just my personal opinion as an entrepreneur. I would not want to work with people that put more stress on my plate and put me through what they put me through and never connect me to a supervisor and don't care what happens. Like, really don't care. And just have bad customer service and just have people that have no idea of what they're doing. But obviously, Turo is not the only company that is doing this. Probably there's a lot of companies, I can probably list you 5 right now, that have the worst customer service in the world, that don't care about their clients. But yeah, I guess it's life. I don't know what your opinion is about this. I don't know if you guys had any experience about Turo. Please tell me what your stories are. Maybe we're going to make this like a little podcast and talk about everyone's Turo stories or something. But this was horrible. Like, even talking about this right now just really drains me right now, like, seriously. But I feel good right now. I feel like this was kind of like a therapy session right now. So actually, I'm very thankful for this. And obviously, I'm gonna upload this right now. I'm gonna edit it later. We're gonna go to Costco right now. Tony's already waiting for me downstairs, so I have to like finish this right now. And Costco is about to close too, so we have to go food shopping right now. And I'm gonna edit this and upload this. And I really wanna hear your opinions to this. Everyone who came from TikTok to hear the whole story. And made it all the way to the end. Respect. I appreciate all of you guys. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. I hope something like this never, ever, ever happens to you. Stay away from Turo. Like this video, comment this video, share this video so it reaches as many people as possible. Okay? And follow me on TikTok, I guess. I don't know. Oh my God. This has been a journey. But yeah, have a good one, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. And done and out for today.